Hi, I'm Lizzie. I was diagnosed with MEN1 over a decade ago, and if there's one pattern I've noticed over the years, both in myself and in conversations I've had with others, it's this idea that I had to choose between my health and my life, between listening to my body and actually living in it. This topic came up recently on my podcast when a guest said something that really landed with me. She said, I'm constantly torn between I can't let this illness ruin my life and I have to listen to my body and rest. And I thought to myself, what if it isn't either or? What if it could be both? I used to live at either end of an extreme and call it health. There was a time I gave up pretty much everything. I put my social life on the shelf in order to sleep 8 hours and get to the gym the next morning. And for a while, it felt like the right thing to do. Looking back now, I can see how contracted I was. There was a lot of control, a lot of fear disguised as discipline. And ironically, it was that tightness that made me feel more unwell than the occasional late night ever would have done. I've gone through similar patterns much more recently too, turning down joy in the name of health, only to realise that the tension I felt trying to be good or do something good was far more harmful than the event that I didn't go to. It's not about the action, it is about the energy behind it. One of the most powerful things I've learned is this. Healing isn't just about what I do or don't do, it's about the energy I'm carrying while I put that thing into action. This came up in my video about why I no longer fight disease. That fighting energy, that contraction, the fear is what keeps disease stuck in my body. And the same goes for how I approach rest and fun. When I stopped obsessing over the rules and started paying attention to where my energy was actually being drained, especially mentally, I felt more rested, more energised and far more sociable. Not because I'd earned it with green smoothies and early nights and being healthy, but because I wasn't constantly in a state of internal resistance. The key really has been being intentional with my energy, not restrictive with my life. And these days, I no longer feel like I'm having to choose between prioritising my health and having a life, because both of those things now come from the same place, being intentional with where my energy goes. My mind will always try to distract me with unhelpful thoughts. My work is to stay focused on healing. And healing for me now includes joy, it includes connection, it includes saying yes to life within the capacity that I have to enjoy it. Of course, I still honour my limits, I don't go overboard, I know when to rest, but I also do not subscribe to the idea that listening to my body means missing out on everything that lights me up. In fact, it's the opposite. If ever you have felt caught in that either or trap, I just want to say right now, you're not alone. But there is a way through that doesn't mean sacrificing one for the other. It's not how it has to work. If you want to see how I'm reversing my symptoms without meds, without surgery, and doing it while living a full life, I've put it all into a free guide that you can download in the link below. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next video.